Hello, scholars. Can you believe we are 1 week out from this course ending? Crazy how time flies and goes by so fast. Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving and you were able to spend time with loved ones and recharge during the break. I know I was able to recharge and I did a little bit of fall cleaning. Instead of spring cleaning, I did a little fall cleaning and got organized. So I used my time wisely, and I'm grateful for that. Okay, so let's move into week 15. I'm going to share my screen. Week 15, achieve success, step 7. So the objectives this week, I think I need to change the display settings. You will gather information and collect data from the career research you've done during this course. You're going to develop a comprehensive presentation that will support your life goals from step 1. So here we are, the final step in our career decision-making wheel. Hang in there. We are near the end, and I believe in you. You have come a long way in this class and have done tons of research and completed a lot of work. You should be very proud. This week, we're bringing everything we have learned in this course to full circle. We're going to reevaluate all the steps. We will be reviewing those values that are important to you and reconnecting back to those values while ensuring that you are on the right path to your career success. Step 7, the final step of the career decision-making wheel. Again, we're going to reevaluate all the steps, review and reconnect values, plan for a path to success. You remember this, the career decision-making wheel. We started this back in week 1 and week 2. You identified your motivations, you set goals and discovered values, and you addressed potential barriers. When you identified those motivations, you identified your push and pull motivations. Step 2, the self-assessment. We did this during week 3 and 4. You went into Eureka and took a formal assessment, the micro skills assessment, which assessed your skills, interest, and abilities, and you received a RISAC code, the Holland code. Step 3, you explored careers. Now, after you took your formal assessment in Eureka, it generated careers that you would be good at based on your abilities, your skills, and your interest. And from there, you created a list and identified 3 to 7 good career options for yourself. If you remember the list, you had a list that was generated from Eureka and you picked from there. And then you also did your own list of careers that were not on Eureka. Okay, so step 4, you evaluated your options. You used a multi-factor analysis tool where you graded each career. And you also learned about personality assessment, the Myers-Briggs indicator type, and discovered your own personality and explored other personalities and that assignment, the exact opposite. During week 7, step 5, you made a formal decision. You went ahead and decided on a career path and made an elevator speech. You've done a lot in this course. Step 6 are the plans. We did this during week 8 through 9, the education plans. You also developed the career plans. and recently you did the financial plans. And now we're on step 7 of the career decision-making wheel. And we're going to be going over this week and next week. So we're going to go back and reevaluate your values, reflect on those values, gather some of that information again. Also, I want to point out that there is a break here in the circle. And it represents the potential for life transitions. Now, none of us can predict the future, what's going to happen tomorrow. So even our best laid out plans can take a twist. So we're going to talk about preparing for those life transitions. So I'm back into the module 15, and under week 15 content, you're going to have steps 1 through 6 review. Again, we're connecting back to the why. I have also opened up all the assignments again, so you are able to access the assignments, the career decision-making billable wheel, if you want to do that again, the life map exercise, simply by clicking on it, it's going to take you back to the link, and you can redo it and reevaluate that if you wish. So in week 1, I know we went over the career decision-making wheel, but just the assignments, you're going to need this for the big assignment, the comprehensive project that you're going to be working on this week. But I wanted to show you that all the assignments are here and that you're able to access them should you need to go back to the assignments that you turned in, or if you just want to complete a whole new one. I'm going to go back to the pyramid, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So it's really important that your basic needs be met in order for you to self-actualize and achieve your goals. Remember, you do have student support here at Norco College. We want you to, should you be in a situation where you don't have food, shelter, we have a link of basic needs for students. So please don't ever be too shy or too embarrassed to reach out, because that's why we're here. We're a community. And speaking of community, we also need to understand that psychological needs need to be addressed. Health services provides psychological support for students should you need to use that. And then lastly, self-fulfillment. Once those lower basic needs are met, students can attend to the needs of higher education. So let's go back to our first assignment, ensuring that your career choice is still fulfilling that pull motivation. And as we talked about back in week, I think it was week 2, motivations are the past experiences that drive us forward and inspire us to act, to do, and to achieve. Values are the things that are most important to us in life and are reflected by the future goals we set for ourselves. So if you need to reevaluate that and you just want to be certain, are these still fulfilling what you want to accomplish? If so, then you don't have to go through it again. But either way, it's just good practice to just reevaluate that you are fulfilling all those pull motivations, that your career choice is fulfilling all those pull motivations. So step 7, how to achieve your goal. So you're going to go back and you're going to gather all the information you have learned in this course and you're going to determine an action plan. And it's part of your big assignment this week. The information you should gather includes the cost, financial aid, assistantships, opportunities, part-time work, program quality as in the program that you're entering. Important features of that program is the length, the class offerings, class size, program culture. Are you liking the college's culture? Are you going to be a commuter? Are you going to be living on campus? What kind of student life, that type of culture? What kind of opportunities are you looking for there? Program outlook and future, do they have, does that school provide internships for you? Do they connect you to jobs? Those are things you should be looking for. Write your own success story. So in career development, in this course, it's not just for this course. This is going to be a lifelong journey for you. You may leave this course at the end of the semester with a general sense of the direction you want to head in your life. You may discover what you believe is the perfect career path for you, and that's great. Or you may feel as though you need to do more research. However you finish this course, trust that you're taking the right first steps by carving out time in your schedule to deeply analyze yourself, to explore all the options, and to develop a plan for your next steps. And I wanted you to watch this video on grit.
Grit, put simply, is perseverance and passion for very long-term goals. To say a few more words about it, grit is really about your stamina, how consistently you're working in a certain direction, then how hard you're working in that direction. It is not about intensity. I've had young people come to me after talks and say, well, let me just tell you how gritty I am. I spent 72 hours without sleeping and I did this amazing thing. And I congratulate them, but I say, so what did you do the next week? And how many years have you been working on this? So when we assess grit by looking at people's biographies, for example, we don't necessarily look for bursts of unusual productivity or effort, but we really look for constancy of effort over time. I have actually for several years been grappling with the question of whether virtues like grit are only virtues in the middle of the spectrum. So do we have something like the Aristotelian notion of the golden mean, where excessive grit as well as insufficient grit are both bad? I've lately come to the opinion, and I really is an opinion because I don't have data to support this, that it's not necessarily that you can have too much grit. What you can have is grit in the absence of other key virtues. So for example, if you're an extraordinarily gritty person who lacks judgment or humility or honesty or empathy and kindness, you can see where grit could, magnify ill effects. But I don't necessarily think that it's the problem of being a 10 out of 10 on the grit scale. Let me start off by saying that in our research studies, for many outcomes like finishing West Point, grit actually is more predictive than IQ or SAT scores. But I think the real question is not, oh, which is more important or more predictive? What it really is important to do is to highlight the undervalued role of effort. I feel like we live in a culture where we talk about talent all the time. In fact, I once was asked to do a media presentation, and they actually even refer to people as talent, as in, has the talent showed up? Did talent show up to makeup yet? Talent has to be on in 5 minutes. So this kind of obsession we have with, whether we are or are not gifted and talented, whether we do or do not make some talent threshold is misplaced. And if anything, I would hope that my research doesn't necessarily undermine talent, because I think talent exists. I'm not a particularly talented driver, for example, but we vastly underestimate how much effort, practice, time on task really determines ultimate performance. So resilience and grit, I'm often asked the question of sort of how does resilience affect grit, or is resilience the same thing as grit? I would say that resilience, if you would define resilience as bouncing back from adversity, that would be one of the things that would be a precursor to grit. But I don't think it's exactly the same, because if you're somebody who, well, when things are hard, you bounce back, that is one thing that you need to be gritty, but not the only thing. You also need a passion, right? You also need something that you're really committed to working on over the long term, and being resilient doesn't guarantee that.
Okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope that grit video just kind of inspired you to follow your goals and know that it's not just, as she says, talent, but that perseverance, that passion. And when you're making these, reevaluating your goals, your pull motivations, when you're looking at your values and setting forth to your career path, make sure that you have that passion there too. Now, this week we have the Career Investigation Project. I will be making a separate video on that, but I wanted to go start here. I have that grit video available in the content as well. Also a motivational video for you. But back to the Career Investigation Project, it is worth 350 points. It's a big one, but I don't want to scare you because it is just accumulation of all you've done this semester, and you're going to put it together. And you're going to have to go back to the Career Investigation Project page to find out how to do this project. Thank you and enjoy your second to last week.